Hey y'all. All right, so let's talk about the show tonight. And I also want to talk about, I don't know if this is a topic that Lee Hammock will cover. He's a narcissist and he helps people recover from narcissistic abuse, how to recognize narcissistic tendencies, why narcissists do what they do, etc., etc. I'm going to be so colorful that I'm going to look like, I don't know, Trinidadian, a West Indian parade float or something. I'm going to be super colorful because that's just how I have to do because I can't see. So these are the questions that he talked about on his show, and we're gonna go over those questions, and I'm gonna give you the most authentic answer because I didn't think about these that much at all. Like, I was focused on other people's story and their situation and how they feel, and I deliberately did not put a lot of thought into it because I want to give you the most authentic me that I can give you. So his questions tonight were, who were you before you got into the relationship? Who was I before that? That's a good question. More gentle, more kind, more loving. And, you know, shoot, that's hard. I was kinder. I was much kinder than I became. And I was open to having a reciprocal connection with somebody. And that changed. So we'll talk about that. Who did you, come on. Who did you have to become in the relationship? I had to become intolerant. I had to become vicious. And when I mean vicious, I don't mean going after somebody with an AK. Vicious as in, I'm getting meaner and meaner because you are not listening. You are not listening. You are not paying attention. You are throwing up smoke screens. And you're flipping it back to me when you know you're the fucked up one. Okay? They're notorious for that. Narcissists are notorious for that. Flipping it to you. I don't know why you behave the way you do. Let me give you a motherfucking clue. The reason I behave the way I do is because you're a motherfucking asshole. You got psychiatric problems and you refuse to address them. And because you can't handle shame, shame is this big, huge monster that they can't handle. I panic when I think about how shameful I am. So I gotta flip it back to you. Flip it back to you. You don't behave right. You don't act right. You. Fingers and toes pointed to the other person when they are the person who's sick. God dang it, you're going to make me want to do something horrible to you. Who are you right now? Intolerant of bullshit. Intolerant. Just, I can pick up red flags a mile away. I am sharper with feeling what my body feels when I'm near this demon, if they're a demon. I can feel that the energy is not reciprocal. I can feel that. And then they put their own foot in their ass by saying stupid ass shit. All about me. I mean, that's obvious that you are irrelevant. So, yeah. Let's see what else. What would you now tell you back then? I would say, girl, you're not being respected. You're not being respected. Your needs are irrelevant. This one has severe psychiatric issues. They're a narcissist. The manipulation is off the chain. The projection is humongous. And by projection, I mean, I'm going to sit here and tell you a list of things, a long list of all the things that's wrong with your ass. When in reality, that's what's wrong with them. But they do projection. They have to tell you how awful you are, how manipulative you are, how ungrateful you are. You. Girl, you being played. This mofo can never be faithful. Remember when you were at Cooper's Landing and the little sumbitch got drunk off his ass? I said a little drunk in another video. That was an understatement. He was drunk off his ass, and he's a queer. I don't have a problem with people being gay. I have a problem when you are sneaky about it. He was making eyes. He was drunk, and that would be a perfect excuse. Making eyes at a guy sitting behind me. And then he flipped it and said the guy was making eyes at him when that was not the case. Girl, you're being played. This is one of the worst people you could get with. All of those attacks on your personality, those are all what's wrong with that person. And if you noticed, here's me talking to me again, and if you noticed, every time they do something fucked up, they turn around and tell you things like, oh, well, I know you really want to do this, but you're going to have to watch how you treat me. You're going to have to behave yourself. Like I'm a motherfucking kid, and I'm cussing because I fucking hate mind games. I fucking hate that. I am not a goddamn child. Don't play with me. And then when people get angry and they flip out, why are you yelling at me? And that's what Henderson did. Why are you yelling at me? Why are you talking to me like that? Why do you use that kind of language? I don't use that language with you. Go get a package of diapers and get the fuck out of my face, you goddamn 2-year-old. Excuse my French. So I had asked Lee this, and I'm going to tell you what's his response to it. And then I'm also going to tell you what else is going on in addition to that. I said, why are they dead emotionally when you get injured? And he said, because your emotions are inconvenient for them. Pretty much a nuisance. So when you get physically hurt, not from them necessarily, but when you get hurt, they're like, this is not really what I want to hear today. I really don't want to hear that you're hurt, you're going through this, and you're going through that, and you I don't really want to hear all that. They don't want to hear it. Because that's your emotions, your feelings, you being injured is an inconvenience to them. In addition to, they have brain damage. And if you want to know the part of the brain that's damaged, we're going to talk about it. Okay? Part of the brain that's damaged is called, if you want to write this down, it's called anterior insular cortex. Anterior insular cortex. That part of the brain is thin. Research it. If you don't believe me or you think I'm talking Japanese right now, research it. Ask, when you research online, ask what part of the brain, don't even use the word narcissist, just saying what part of the brain is involved with empathy, and it'll show you anterior insular cortex. When professionals like scientists have studied the brain, they notice that in narcissists, that part, the anterior insular cortex, is very thin. There's not a lot of tissue there. So no, they can't feel anything for you. They can't. Their brain is broken. Okay, so CT scans, PET scans, MRIs, all of these tests were done and show that they have significant brain damage. That is why they act so stupid. That is why they project. That is why they gaslight you. You acted a fool the other night when you had a drink or two and you acted a straight up fool. When in reality, they were the ones acting a straight up fool. So they're telling you that your reality is not real. Okay? They're projecting their stupidness and their brain damage onto you. You did this and you said that and you. Like I said, come on, get out of my face with that shit. And then you wonder why people flip out on your ass, because they know you're playing games. So there were a couple of situations that I could, oh, well, shit, there's one of them I forgot. This isn't easy to talk about, but I'm going to go there because y'all need to know. You need to know. And for those of you who have dealt with narcissistic abuse, this is going to sound so familiar to you. There were 4 situations, there are probably more, okay. But there's 4 that I can think of where I was physically injured. And the narcissist, excuse me, the narcissist was in the other room pretending they had no idea what was going on. One of those situations was when I got stabbed in my home growing up. I was a teenager, and the middle, Rosemary's baby, he's just like his mother, angry, hateful, bitter, hostile, sick. He was stabbing me. She was in the other room pretending she had no idea what was going on. She heard the commotion. She heard the commotion. Okay, that's what they do. They pull a disappearing act, or if they're right there when it happens, they just stand there and say and do absolutely nothing. And I'm being stabbed. She didn't give a shit. Okay. She didn't give a shit. I had 2 shirts on. I had a long sleeve shirt and a short sleeve sweater. She said, she came in, when I realized that I had the 2 tined forks stuck in my arm. It's the big fork that's about that big. You would use it to stab corn with, corn on the cob. I couldn't feel the stabbing because your adrenaline is pumping so hard that you don't feel the pain necessarily. Not right, not then. So I didn't feel any pain. And my brain didn't know what was going on until it got stuck in my arm right here. And when I saw that, my brain goes, what the hell? And I kind of slumped against the wall and I slid to the floor. The only thing she did, meaning the mother, she came in and she said, mind you, she was a nurse. She came in and said, you'll need to wash your shirts out. Go wash your shirts out. That was the extent of it. That was it. Why do I keep warning you about narcissists? Why do I keep warning you about when you get physically injured, they don't give a God blessed frick. They don't care. Why do you think I keep telling you that? I'm not making this shit up. I've been through this over and over and over again. Okay? For those who have never seen the puncture marks, God, I can't remember where they are. There's 2 here. One of them's hard to see. And the other 2 are right here. Yeah, these 2 holes. I don't know if you could see them. Those are stab marks. That ain't got nothing to do with her. So it doesn't really matter. Okay? The other time I was injured, I was in the vehicle with someone who, the abuse this little bastard was putting me through was taking a toll on my body. I didn't know it at the time, but I had never experienced this before. I felt a sharp pain go from my pelvis all the way through my whole body, as if somebody stabbed me, you know, down there. The pain shot through my whole body like a bolt of lightning. And I was yelling. Now, mind you, I'm in the car with the demon. And I am yelling, and I can't sit down on the seat. So I'm up like, I don't even know how my body was. I gotta be honest with you. I gotta overlook my, oh, y'all always you see that in the background. You don't care. Anyway, so I was going like this, and I was putting my body back, and I'm going, ah, ah, ah. My body is as stiff as a board in the car. Stiff as a goddamn board. That son of a bitch sat there and had no response. The anterior, this is in the front, anterior insular cortex is paper thin. You're not going to get blood out of a turnip. Their brain is damaged. Like I said, research it. They can't feel for you even if they want to. So they've got two things working against them. Well, they're who they actually are is working against them too. But anyway, moving right along. You know, they're damaged because of their childhood, either overindulged or abused, but overindulgence is a form of abuse, and they have brain damage as a result. So they can't feel for you no matter what. They just can't. I was yelling. I was holding my body up. I was stiff as a board in the car, and he had zero response. That ain't got nothing to do with him. That's on you. That's your problem. When I had the heat-related illness in the park, it was extremely, some of y'all heard this already, it was extremely hot that day. It was so hot. There was like no airflow. And my body is susceptible to overheating in situations like that, even though I drank as much water as I thought I drank enough water, but it don't matter. You in like 100 and God knows what degrees, no airflow. Went down by the creek, was with the demon boy. He goes to Open Heart Baptist Church, by the way. He's a fucking demon, and he's in church every Sunday. Son of a bitch. Anyway, went down by the creek, and I put my feet in the water, and I'm trying really hard to cool my body off. But I feel nauseous. I feel weak. I'm pretty sure my skin was pale. And being the cockroach that he is, he scrambled up the hill to get away from me. Honey, he couldn't get away from me fast enough, okay? He scrambled his cockroach ass up the fucking hill, and he stayed away from me. I'm getting worse and worse and worse. He doesn't care. And like I've said before, and if you don't believe me, research it. When you go into heat exhaustion, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and your body is basically cooking from the inside out, almost. If you don't get relief quickly, you get nauseous and you go into shock. Your body pulls blood away from your extremities. It's trying to pulls blood away from areas that are not necessarily needed, and tries to pull blood to where you need it the most, or something along those lines. Anyway, if you do not get relief from heat exhaustion, it goes into heat stroke. Heat stroke is a medical emergency. It requires you going to the hospital as fast as possible. You got to call an ambulance because your partner doesn't give a shit because they're sick in the head. So they're going to watch your life slowly disappear, and oh well. They're going to sit there with their nice cold drink and watch you like they're watching TV, if they even look at you. Meanwhile, your life is on the line. This is serious. Son of a bitch. All right. And the fourth incident was, you guys have heard this before. Those of you who have watched my channel before, you already know. I was with another narcissist, did not know he was also a narcissistic bastard, did not know. And I was cooking spaghetti sauce, and there was something wrong with my lid, the lid to my crock pot. And when I lifted the lid to check it, and when I lifted it, it scooped in the opposite direction. So instead of scooping that way, it scooped hot spaghetti towards me, scalding hot spaghetti all over my stomach. And I started yelling, ah, 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 ah. And my brain just went, cold water, you know. So I immediately went to the sink and I took my whatever, my dish towel, my dishcloth, whatever I could put cold water on, and I placed it on me right away. And I'm just doing everything I can to cool that part of my body off. He did like everybody else did, stood there watching, did not say a word. Didn't say a word. They become statues. Or that was my personal excuse. Not personal excuse. My personal experience. You know how, y'all know I got fibro. I get my words confused. But at least I'm not a narcissist. I'd rather have fibro than narcissism. Anyway, moving right along. All of the little fuckers were just statues when something happened to me. There are people who, their narcissists will make fun of them. Some of them, if you cry, will get turned on by your tears and want to be intimate with you. And Lee's therapist told him it's because their reaction is tapping into a part of your brain that you don't normally experience emotions, that vulnerability, and so you become turned on. Some people are like that. But yeah, it's it's never not going to be shocking that somebody is so fucking damaged that they just go, wow, wow. There are similarities between narcissism and psychopathy. And if you ever listen to professional, like forensic psychologists, because you know me, I watch a lot of criminal documentaries, okay? And I memorize what they say. Honestly, I memorize what they say. And forensic psychologists will say that there's a crossover between narcissism and psychopathy. Very similar tendencies. Very similar tendencies. Cold, unfeeling, no remorse. Just, And I've told you guys this 100 times, and it will never not mess my brain up. Still messes my brain up. Although I know that that's how they are. I cannot tell you how many times a cop has said to a psychopath, do you have any remorse for what you've done? No. So you don't feel bad that they're dead? No. You don't regret anything? You have absolutely no feelings about these people losing their lives? No. That's narcissist for you. Psychopathic tendencies. And sometimes they will get irritated, psychopaths will get irritated when the cops are interrogating them because they don't understand why you keep trying to make me feel something. And sometimes they'll even say that. Well, I mean, I could act like I feel bad about it, but I don't. And I'm going to tell you what one of them said. I'm going to let you guys go. One killer said, the cop said, do you regret what you've done? No. So how do you feel about it? They're dead. I'm alive. So as horrifying as that may sound, narcissists have the same attitude depending on the narcissist, or their typical responses to have rages, throw things, break things, especially if they get caught cheating. They can be aggressive and they can start breaking things in the house and acting like a total maniac and being more hateful to you because they feel bad that they got busted cheating. So your best bet is to get the hell away from them, okay? That's your best bet. And the faster the better, okay? I share these intimate moments with you because, and they're not easy to talk about. I mean, there's times that I feel the tears building and I'm like, okay, we're not going to do that, because it's extremely hurtful. It's extremely, excuse me, my asthma. My asthma's acting up. I have to figure out where my inhaler went. Anyway, it's just shocking because that's not normal. Somebody's life is almost, they're real close to having a heat stroke, which could kill them. Whatever. Whatever. Wait till Judgment Day comes. Wait till Judgment Day comes. You might be getting away with it now. You might be getting away with it your whole raggedy, pathetic life. But I'm here to tell you, if you're a fucking narcissist and you refuse to get therapy, your day is coming. Trust. So anyway, you guys take care. Much love. I do want to tell you this before I go. Remember I told you my friend's daughter is a fucking bitch, and she took she didn't want her son to be addressed by her father, so she went psycho-ballistic on him like a goddamn fucking lunatic, and she held on to the title of the car because when you give her power, she's going to abuse you and snatch everything from you that's important to you because she's just a fucking bitch. Anyway, I did get the title, but there's things that the car has to be worked on in order for it to, whatever. So there's still, it is in a safe place. She cannot get a hold of it. And should she ever decide that she's going to come moseying her fucking ass over here, I will make sure that I take it and hide it so that she can never have that power again. Do not ever put yourself, I told my friend this, but it goes in one ear and out the other. So I'm going to tell you guys, and hopefully you'll actually goddamn listen. Do not put a narcissistic psychopath in a position of power, because the more connection you have with them, the more they can destroy you. The more they can destroy you. Like, don't give them the key to your house. Don't give them the key to your mailbox. Don't keep your brand new car over their house while you're on vacation. Just don't connect yourself to the devil, because you're begging for problems and you're going to get them. Especially if you don't dance to their tune. Okay? One more thing before I go. Another thing that Henderson did, ugly bastard. It's a good thing I don't judge people for their appearance, because I would never have given him the time of day. Moving right along. He's hideous. His parents are not bad looking people, but I don't know what the fuck happened to him. He just... But I thought he had a good heart, and he's just a total fraud. You just you just can't be too connected to them. You have to start pulling ties away from them. The more you're connected, the more power they have. And you don't want to give a evil person, someone who can't regulate their emotions, you don't want to give them more power. There was something else I was going to tell you. If it comes back to me, I'll put it in the description. The description of the video. But anyway, you guys take care. Much love. And it's hard to talk about these circumstances where I was basically abandoned at a serious time of need. But you need to know this. You need to know this. If I risk getting teary and crying, I'll just take that risk. It ain't like you haven't seen me get emotional before. Okay. You need to know how cold they are. And you need to know that you don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. Because God forbid something happened to their ugly ass, and ugly on the inside is worse than being ugly on the outside. Doctor can fix the outside. He can't do nothing with the rotten core. If something happens to them, oh shit. Everybody in the world needs to stop what they're doing and have a moment of silence for them. And we need to care about them. And we need to contact them and flood them with cards. And I care about you so much even though I don't know you. I'm just worried about you. Are you okay? You're supposed to bend over backwards for that. Look here. Cut them loose and be done with them forever. They love caretakers because they're going to stomp all over your face and your heart, mind, body, soul, finances, mental well-being, psychological well-being. They'll stomp all over every single bit of that and leave you to be the shell of a person. You're no longer a person. You're an empty shell. That's their goal because they're miserable fuckers and they want you miserable too. So that's the good thing about them. The real good thing is they're going to have to face Judgment Day when they go, which is awesome. And they're never going to be happy. They could make $1 million a year. They're still going to be rotten to the core and they're still going to be miserable because they refuse to get professional help. So I take solace in knowing that your dumb ass is never going to be happy. I think that's awesome. That's the punishment you get for being an asshole and not doing anything about it. Okay? Y'all take care. Much love. Bye.